Hi, this is Brandon Smiley from thirstgym.com. Today we're talking about an exercise called the back squat versus bands. This is a fantastic way to develop speed, power, and strength for your back squat. So there's nothing wrong with the back squat. I think everyone knows the back squat's fantastic for lower body strength. But squatting against bands is a very game changer aspect of squatting, in my opinion. So I think if you can learn to squat against bands, you can be a really good squatter. You can hit new PRs. And I really think the people that dismiss bands or aren't a fan of bands don't really understand what bands are doing. So let's talk about what the bands are doing for us beneficially, and then let's show you how you would squat against them. So the bands are constantly pulling down on the barbell throughout the whole range of motion. So at the top, I think we can all agree that there's more tension at the top than there is at the bottom because they're pulled like a rubber band. And as you go down, that amount of tension that's being pulled on is less. However, bands, like we said, actually pull down towards wherever they're anchored, which, in this case are band pegs, but they're pulling down into the ground. So what that does from our muscular system and our muscles and our tendons is whenever they get stretched really quickly, they naturally want to contract quickly. And so we're going to try to use that to our advantage to developing more speed and power, particularly in this exercise, the squat. So as we squat with the weight, it's going to try to pull us down faster than what gravity does, which are, you would think your muscles aren't used to as much, particularly in this exercise. And so we're going to get a training adaptation. I'm going to teach our glutes, hamstrings, and quads to fire faster out of the bottom, which then can let us hit new PRs and handle new weight and treat heavier weights faster. So usually you'll see this in a dynamic effort training or from Westside Barbell or Louis Simmons. I think that's awesome. This variation, we're going to do it without the box. I think if you're a raw squatter, doing them without a box is a fantastic way to develop speed and power and learn to use that stretch shortening cycle in the bottom, which is that reflexive aspect of the muscles and tendons, to lift more weight. So let's show how we have these set up. We have our own video of how to set up bands for the squat. So I would check that out if you're looking for a really detailed way of setting up bands, or if you don't have like a monolift or you don't have band pegs. There's tons of different ways in that video to show you how to set up bands. But for this particular one, we have it looped around our band pegs. We have the band that comes through the middle and up to the top. And this way, there's always tension on the bar. We want to make sure that there's tension throughout the whole range of motion. We don't want to lose tension at the bottom. So if you happen to be one of those people that's squatting, you lose your tension at the bottom, and you come up barely any tension, you're not really getting anything out of that, make sure the tension is there. When it comes to selecting your tension, usually for your dynamic effort work, so if you're doing a conjugate-based style of training, you want about 20 to 25% of your 1 rep max in band tension. So basically you're going to look around 10 to 12% per side, or just add them up to where they're going to add up to about 20-25%. I have a band here less than what I would normally use, but this is just for demonstration purposes only. And then obviously we have the same thing on this side, and then that's going to give you a good place. Now, if you're going to do a max effort work and you wanted to use the red band 1 week, and then a green band 1 week, and an orange band 1 week, by all means you could do that. But generally speaking, you're probably going to stick around that band tension so that it's not too much band tension and it's also not too little band tension. So again, I got the band set up, I got them on my squat bar here, and I'm going to give you some demonstration of how it will be done, and then we'll kind of go from there. So I'm going to line up here, get my squat bar set, put it on my back. I'm a low bar squatter. I'm going to get my feet around hip width, a little bit wider. Going to get set, keep my chest tall, unrack, let the weight settle, come down, back up. Try to be explosive into the weight. Boom. Then rack. I will say that the other benefit of squatting against bands is that it's going to teach you how to own the weight in the bottom. If you can't control that weight on the way down as it's trying to accelerate you faster, it's going to kind of not necessarily make you eat it, but it's going to get you down there faster than you're used to. It'll teach you how to stay tight as well. And then it also teaches you how to drive your head back up into the bar, which I think can be great. I think too many beginners don't understand what it's like to actually apply force into the barbell, even with lighter loads. Now, we also use something like this for our athletic populations, so it's great from a dynamic effort standpoint in terms of developing speed and power without getting ground contacts from plyometric training. So in-season athletes, I think, benefit a ton from dynamic effort training. We want to be able to keep weights in their hands. We want to keep them strong and resilient. We want to continue to get faster in season if at all possible and more powerful. But with the banging of like football and basketball and how much toll these kids' bodies are taking from practices and other stuff, a lot of times the dynamic effort method might be a fantastic way to get the glutes, hamstrings, quads more powerful without putting a strain on their body in terms of ground contacts. So this is the back squat versus bands. We've got the setup. We've got our video show you how to set up other options if you need to. We talked about the band tension. From a programming standpoint, I think usually when you're doing this, you're probably going to see between 40 and 50% of the bar weight of your 1 rep max plus the 20-25% band tension. So that should get you between 60 and upwards of 75%, depending on how you have them loaded up. And then obviously, like we said, you can do max effort work as well, to where you can do heavy singles, doubles, and triples against the bands. It's going to teach you how to grind in the bands, but also help you develop that shortening cycle underneath heavier loads and build some confidence kind of a whole against some heavy weights. So that is the back squat versus bands. If you have any questions about this, or the dynamic effort method or anything like that in terms of developing speed and power, either for athletes or just for powerlifting, whatever, please feel free to leave in the comment section. Thanks. Have a great day.